Hi, my name is Hallie Shepherd. I'm the author of Call Off the Dark, out September 22nd from William Morrow and HarperCollins. Call Off the Dark is a haunting thriller love story about a woman named Helen who loses her first husband, her soulmate, to a murder in Seattle. To escape her grief, she rushes into a tenuous second marriage and moves to an old farmhouse off-grid. One night when Helen is home alone, she gets an unexpected visitor. It's her new husband's brother, whom she didn't even know existed. Things quickly go from intriguing to chilling when her husband returns home and tells Helen his brother is dead. I love a novel with suspense, but I also get really excited about a love story, especially one that's sweeping or one that is really psychologically real and raw. My favorite characters usually exist somewhat in the gray area, characters that don't always make the best decisions, but as a reader, we still root for them, we still feel empathy for them. I love a book that on the surface is just a great page turner, but underneath the surface has something meaningful to say. In my life, I've lost a couple people that are very special to me, and I've spent time pondering how we move forward from those losses, but also how we carry those people with us. And when it comes to difficult things in life, absolutely books are something that I've turned to for comfort and just searching for meaning. And so my feeling is, why can't a book have all the big emotions? Grief and loss and love and redemption and even moments of realistic humor in there with hope. And cross genre lines, suspense and chills and do things that surprise the reader. I don't think that books have to stay in neat and tidy boxes. I love something that bends the rules and surprises you in a way that feels like it fits, but it's different. I have always loved scary stories. Things that feel gothic and eerie and subversive. As long as your character development, your plotting, your emotional setups and payoffs all track, I think you can play with genre expectations. And that's what I did with Call Off the Dark. I have a background in screenwriting and filmmaking. You might notice that Call Off the Dark's present timeline in the woods is pretty much a classic 3-act screenplay structure. Stories tend to unfold like a movie in my mind. But what I really love now as a novelist is getting to explore a character's interior life on the page. And I love that my voice and my style gets to set the tone and the atmosphere for a reader. I've been writing all kinds of things my whole life, from short stories to a blog, to poetry, to a newspaper column, and of course screenplays. But my plan from the time I was 6 years old and reading chapter books was to write novels. So it's been a little bit of a circular route to arrive here, but I am beyond thrilled to be sharing my debut novel with the world. I grew up in a really small town in the Pacific Northwest, only 1,000 people, Winlock, Washington. One of my favorite places to go was the library on First Street. I would go there and to the school libraries so often that I practically knew the shelves by heart. There's something really special about a space that is essentially a huge community to-be-read pile. There's the books that you check out, but there's also the anticipation of the books that you don't yet check out. You pull them off the shelf, you read the back, you flip through the pages, you're interested, but you put them back and you think, maybe next time. To me, a library is a magical collection of all these books that are patiently waiting for you for when you're ready. And it's very exciting for me to imagine Call Off the Dark being one of those books on the shelves. I wrote some of my debut novel while I was visiting my hometown, staying on my parents' farm. I grew up on 40 acres surrounded by tall fir trees. It was a great place to feel inspired. I wanted to craft a novel with a lush Pacific Northwest atmosphere that would feel timeless. The woods of Western Washington are stunning, but under the right circumstances, they can feel ominous and menacing. Because Call Off the Dark is a genre blend with many different emotional themes, I really hope that it appeals to a variety of readers. In many ways, the book is a story of grief and loss, but also about hope and reinvention. And I also think it's just a really unique, entertaining story. Whether you want to call it a thriller or a love story or a maybe ghost story, a book club pick, or gothic horror. I really just hope that you check it out and decide for yourself what you think it is.